on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gators, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners or viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, and we are here with you to share opportunities, activities, events, anything that we can that will further help to develop our students, our young people, and this Saturday is no different. And of course, it is a beautiful day here on Nevis. For those of you who are joining us via Von Radio's Facebook page or YouTube channel, it is a beautiful day here on Nevis. It's sunny, and of course the scenery. Driving to the studio, I thought we definitely live in paradise where everybody else aims to vacation. And so as you live vicariously through me, I guess, for the next hour, welcome to another beautiful day on Nevis, and of course here on Youth on the Go. We are officially on Easter break. Our students, of course, were released last Friday, April 1st, and our teachers have been released as of April 8th. And so we hope that although there are so many activities happening, that all parties, everyone will have an opportunity to get some rest in preparation for the start of the new school term, which is scheduled to start on April 25th, 2022. I know every time we talk about the end of school, I always bring in the beginning of school, and so I know our students like to focus on the break, but I also want to make sure that we have our goalposts in mind. And of course, in the meantime, we have several ways to keep our students engaged. I love that there are so many competitions and activities, which have been released in the last few weeks, so that our students can remain meaningfully engaged and they can take part in several activities. I will start off with the 2022 Exposition Nevis activities. We know that Exposition Nevis is part of the Ministry of Tourism's thrust annually to help out to keep our people engaged and of course tuned in to what is happening and how we can contribute to our tourism product and the sustainability of tourism. And so there are several activities happening that will affect our students and our schools. And the first one is geared towards primary school students. And this one is a primary school essay contest. And the contest is, the topic, for the contest is Rethinking Tourism. What initiatives can tourism-related businesses and government implement to further promote Nevis as a green tourist destination? And just to give you an background, tourism is rightly recognized as a core pillar of growth and opportunity. Thanks to the unique breadth of the sector, touching on almost every part of our societies, it has the power to drive recovery and get the international community back on track. This crisis, the pandemic, presents an opportunity for us to rethink tourism and realign the sector. For this reason, raising levels of green investment in tourism with the power to achieve greater sustainability and provide opportunities outside the sector itself is a priority for the World Tourism Organization. And this comes from the Secretary General of the UNWTO in 2021. The topic again for the essay for primary school students, Rethinking Tourism. What initiatives can tourism-related businesses and government implement to further promote Nevis as a green tourist destination? The word limit, 500 words. Number of entries per school. Schools are allowed to have a total of 4 entries. And so they will have preliminary judging and selecting the 4 essays before forwarding them to the Ministry of Tourism. Criteria: originality, creativity, content, structure and layout, grammar. And the essay should be typewritten, and the deadline April 29th, 2022, and the announcement of the winners will be made on May 31st, 2022, and the prizes, of course, are available, and children love prizes. I do too. Prizes are available. Attractive prizes will be awarded to the first, second, and third place winners, and all participants will be acknowledged. All right, so that is the competition for our primary school students, and as I said, the Ministry of Tourism has activities for several levels across our system. And so we move on to the secondary school students, and this one is the My Iconic Photograph and Promotional Video of Nevis contest for secondary school students. The contest rules and guidelines: photographs and videos should capture images of Nevis that can be used for marketing Nevis as a prime tourist destination. Students can either take a photograph of, can enter either the photograph or video contest. Each photo or video should have a name. All entries are to be submitted in digital form. Entries are to be submitted to a point teacher at the school, and your school will let you know who's the point teacher, and then that person will forward it to the Ministry of Tourism, and each school will be allowed to submit 10 entries for the video and 10 entries for the photo contest. And each student who enters the photo contest can submit up to 2 photographs for judging, and for the destination promotional video of Nevis, that should be no more than 60 seconds. And each student's photo or video should be his or her own original creative work featuring unique aspects of Nevis as a tourist destination. A short description and completed participation form should accompany the entry, and of course, please, they're asking that you do not add text or color manipulations to photos which are submitted for judging. The display and future use rights: by submitting any entry to the contest, the submitter grants permission to the Ministry of Tourism to use and rights associated to the use of entries without compensation. So the submission deadline, all entries should be submitted by 3 p.m. on April 29th, 2022, and the judging, a panel of expert judges will select the first, second, and third place winners for both video and photo contest. Additionally, photos and videos will be posted on the Ministry of Tourism's Facebook page, and a prize will be given for the most liked photo and video as at May 13th, 2022. Winners will be announced at the end of May. Okay, so those are both competitions being offered through the Ministry of Tourism for the 2022 exposition Nevis. And then finally, we have the Sicily Brown Integrated School Environmental Art Poster Competition, and the theme for this competition is Keep Nevis Clean. Students are asked to create a poster depicting ways in which we can use each of the 3 R's: reuse, reduce, and recycle, to preserve and conserve our resources and keep our island clean. Guidelines for competition: participants must be students of the Sicily Brown Integrated School. The artwork must be original. All artwork should be submitted using standard manila-sized paper. The layout should be clean and communicate clearly each of the R's, the reduce, reuse, reduce, recycle, while keeping in line with the theme, which is Keep Nevis Clean. There will be a first, second, and third place There will be first, second, and third place winners, and all entries must be submitted to the Ministry of Tourism by 3 p.m. on Friday, 29th April. Each submitted entry is subject to use by the Ministry of Tourism, and winners will be announced in May. So those are just a few of the opportunities available to our students. You would realize that they have just about 3 weeks to complete the pieces for these competitions hosted by the Ministry of Tourism. I know the schools are out right now, but if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to the Ministry of Tourism as well, and they will be able to assist you. But as soon as school reopens, you should have your entry ready. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab the gators, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling is for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. If you're just tuning in, I am Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, and we are here this morning. We have been sharing some opportunities for our students and our young people. Even though we know they are on break, we have just the right competitions and activities to keep them engaged for this period of time, and so we have been sharing. And for those of you who missed the first few competitions, we have 3 competitions hosted by the Ministry of Tourism for the 2022 Exposition Nevis activities, and those of course they have activities for primary school students, for the Sicily Brown Integrated School, and our secondary school students. So feel free to reach out if you need more information on those activities. We of course are also mindful that April is celebrated as Youth Month, and so there are several activities being hosted by the Department of Youth here on Nevis. There's actually a full calendar for the month of April, and last week they hosted the Marine Awareness Week, and for those of you who missed it, you should go back to the Department of Youth Nevis Facebook page to learn a lot. There were excerpts from which were shared by various Green ambassadors for you to follow for the entire week, and so that took place during the course of this week. We have other opportunities. As I said, students are at home and they are not sure, you're not sure of what they can do, and so keep posted to those. There's also an upcoming Moonlight Walk on April 16th. That's the Saturday following Good Friday at 7:30 p.m. and they move from Manses One Stop to the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, but you have to register, and so we're encouraging students or young people to register, to reach out to the Department of Youth upstairs, the Reliable Motors Miniplex, and registration is mandatory for this Moonlight Walk, and that is a Moonlight Walk which is backed by popular demand. We have several I know that Easter camp starts on Monday. Of course, you know that registration closed for that activity previously, but Easter camp closes on Monday as well, and so we want everyone to take part and to be part of this process. Also, it's time again for the Youth Impact 12 Award, and the areas open for nominations are the Extraordinary Youth in Agriculture Award, and Youth in for May, and Youth in the Arts for June. Okay, and the deadline for May's nominations is April 22nd, and the nomination for June's nomination would be May 20th, 2022. So those, as I said, lots of important activities happening, and we want to encourage all of our students to take part in the Department of Youth's activities. And the theme, of course, is What's New? A Green, Clean Youth Month 2022. And if you look at it, you realize that the Ministry of Tourism's competition focuses on green tourism, and the Department of Youth's Youth Month activities are focused on staying green and keeping our island clean, and using our resources, our natural resources that we have, and making sure that they're available to be passed on for many generations to come. So those are things that we should take into consideration. Very important activities. I also want to share with you the competition. There is a competition being hosted by the Department of Community Development, and so the Department of Community Development here in Nevis is hosting a short video contest, and they're asking students or persons to create an informative short video not exceeding 8 minutes, highlighting a person in your community who has contributed immensely to the development of your community. Contributions to the community can be through sponsorship, assistance to the community, representing the community, organizing events in the community. The winner of the contest will receive $500. Interested persons can register at the Department of Community Development. For further information, you can contact the department at 469-5521 extension 2184, or you can call directly at 469-1768. All right, so that is the Department of Community Development's competition, and if you need more information, feel free to reach out to them so that you can participate in those competitions. Okay, so we also have the story writing, poetry writing, and creative cover competitions available for our students. As I said, we have so many available for our students that there is no doubt that you can access whatever your interests are. There is something for you to access for this Easter break. And so there is the poetry competition, verse to verse, the story of our people, and it is being hosted by the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment and Talent Development, caption MOENT. And this poetry competition rules: the poem must be the entrance original work. Poetry entries must be at least 10 but cannot exceed 30 lines. Do not use texting lingo. Properly spell out all words and numbers. Do not include your name or any information at the end of the poem. Poem can be written in any poetic style and follow any number of themes excluding erotica, and poems must be submitted in PDF format. Must not have been previously published or made public, and we have prizes to be won. Winners will be featured in the poetry publication booklet, and entry deadline is right around the corner. This is the last time that we will be able to announce this one, because the deadline is right around the corner. It is April 15th, 2022, and you can ensure that by entering the competition, you are agreeing to have your work compiled and published. And you can reach out to Mrs. Keisha Isaac Adams at moend.creativesector@gov.kn. Categories ages 8 to 17 and 18 to 30. So that's the poetry competition. We also have same deadline, the art competition, and for this one it must be the entrance original work. Design must be original to the artist. They must be hand created. Design must include the book title. The cover art must be submitted in JPEG, PNG, or TIF. The art must not have been published or made public, and the prizes to be won. We have winners will be featured in the poetry and story writing publication, and you have the categories, same age categories, 8 through 17, 18 through 30, and deadline this coming Friday, and winners will be announced on May 14th. And of course, by entering this competition, persons are agreed to have their work compiled and published. And then we have the story writing competition, and for this one it's called Captioned Stories of Our Islands, and it must be the entrance original work. It must be no less than 500 words but no more than 1,000 words. Stories must be typed, double spaced, and in a readable 12-point font. Stories must not have been published or made public. Stories must be submitted in PDF format, written in any genre, and follow any number of themes excluding erotica. And wonderful prizes to be won. Winners will feature in the poetry book publication, and the entry deadline is April 15, 2022, and announcement of winners is May 14th, 2022. Same categories, ages 8 through 17 and 18 to 30. And so if you need more information, feel free to reach out to the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment and Talent Development, so that your child or children can be part of this very important work. If you need any clarity, feel free to reach out. We also want to announce, I think, the final competition that I have with me today. It is geared towards secondary school students, and the Pink Lily is hosting the Walkathon Theme Competition 2022 for, as I said, high school students, secondary school students, and they're asked to submit entries by May 31st, 2022. And if you need more information, feel free to reach out to Tracy at 669-9945 or Cindy at 664-0982. And so this t-shirt theme competition going out to all secondary school students. The winner for the last competition was a primary school student in the person of Ariana Daniel from Montessori Academy, and of course she won the t-shirt competition for the October 2021 walk, which was Walk With Me, Stop Cancer Early. And so we look forward to the entries and submissions from the various students across the secondary schools, and those must be in by May 31st, 2022. As I said, we can't say that it's going to be a boring break. Definitely not going to be a boring break. We have many things happening, and so students, parents, we encourage you to access the opportunities for our students to in which our students can participate, so that they can be able to be meaningfully engaged over the very short Easter break. It is our shortest break, but we want them to still be actively engaged, because as much as we can keep them involved and engaged, we will be able to see their continued development and progress. Students, I must also encourage you to use some of the time to reflect on Term 2 and to see where you may have fallen short. I know that we had our parent-teacher conferences this week, and our teachers were able to talk to parents about where our students may have fallen short or where they could have a bit more support. And so if we can have our students review some of the areas that I know the teachers highlighted, areas that they may need some extra support in, if we can have students review in those areas and look over their examination papers and see where they may need some extra support, that would be of great help as we transition into term 3 in short order. We'll take a short break at this point and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
8:60 a.m. The Powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab the games, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners or viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, and of course it is always a pleasure to be here with you, with all of you, as we share as much information that we can about our or that will help to develop our students and our young people in some way. I know that several persons have been calling the Department of Education this week as it relates to the registration dates for the preschools. We've gotten several calls, and so we will share the information throughout the course of the upcoming week, but I can give you a preview of the dates just in case you were wondering. For Charlestown Preschool, May 3rd to 13th, and of course please make sure that for any of the schools you reach out to the school to schedule an appointment. We still have to make sure that we are protecting our students, and so it will be by appointment. And of course, if you call later on and you're told that we have reached capacity, then you would have to take further action. But we will start Charlestown Preschool May 3rd to 13th, Gingerland Preschool April 25th to May 6th, St. John's Pre May 3rd to 13th, Common Pre May 9th to 13th, and Ines France May 3rd to May 6th. Okay, so we have those dates, and we want to make sure that we are alerting the public and that you're abreast as to what is happening and how we can provide further support for you. So for persons who have children who are going to be 3 years old have turned 3 in 2022 or will turn 3 in 2022, we encourage you to reach out to the schools if you are interested in registering at one of our government preschools. We encourage you to reach out to the respective school. As I said, the information will be shared out in this upcoming week, but we have been receiving several calls. Additionally, just a reminder for all persons who are interested in purchasing early bird tickets for the 2022 edition of the Gulf Insurance Interprimary School Championship. The date for the meet is April 27th, and if you are interested in purchasing tickets for the meet ahead of the meet, the deadline for the early bird tickets is April 22nd, 2022. So the Friday prior to the meet is the deadline for the purchase of tickets. We know that schools were selling tickets, but schools are now closed. And so if you need to purchase an early bird ticket, please note that you can get that ticket from the Department of Education at Marion Heights, and the early bird ticket sale will end on April 22nd, 2022. The prices: children, primary and secondary children, $5 for the early bird, and if you purchase the ticket after April 22nd, you are no longer an early bird, and so you will pay the regular price of $10. Please note, preschool students do not have to pay for entrance at the meet. So if you have a preschooler, I know we've gotten that question. If you have a preschooler, you do not have to pay for your preschool student to enter the meet. Adults, and of course that includes sixth formers as well, and the adult price is $15 for adults. That's early bird, and if you come on the day of the meet to purchase the ticket, or anytime after April 22nd, we will have to revert to the regular ticket price, which is $20 for adults. And we also have inside parking available, $15 plus the cost of the ticket for each occupant, and we'll have those available for you starting this upcoming week. All right, so we have those activities happening, and listeners, we know that we've experienced this several times, where we advertise the early bird ticket sale, and then persons come after the early bird ticket time period. For example, the Monday after, or even the morning before the meet, they may try to come to the office and to ask for tickets, and they would want to pay the early bird price. We're saying to you, if you want to pay the early bird price, and to be honest, I would definitely want to pay $5 over $10, and so if you want to pay the early bird price, make sure that you get your ticket early. And of course, as per usual, we will have an opportunity to win some closer to the time of the meet. We will have an opportunity to win some tickets as well, so we'll have those available. Okay, but we want you to know that we are not going to be able to accommodate your request if you come after April 22nd requesting an early bird ticket. The bird would have flown, and we would have been in the regular zone, and so you would have to pay that price. And we are very clear in articulating. We have been communicating that to the public so that persons are clear. We have had sales at various points. As I said, we had tickets at the Agriculture Open Day for the 2 days. We also had tickets available at the Nevis Youth Careers Expo. We had tickets available at all primary schools up until yesterday, and so we are now continuing the early bird package sale at the Department of Education, but we need for you to be able to arrange to get those tickets collected at the cost, the early bird cost, so that we do not have any challenges on the day of the event or the days after, leading up to the event, because we will have to revert to the regular price. We thank you so much for your understanding in this matter, and we know, I want to also take this opportunity. I know that we are on Easter break, but I want to take the opportunity to thank and commend in advance our coaches and our teachers and school leaders who are continuing to work to prepare the students for the championship, which is coming up in short order. So we want to thank all stakeholders, all parties who are going above and beyond. I want to publicly do that so that we register our appreciation, and parents and persons in the community. And I want to single out our sports enthusiasts, because I know there are some persons who are elated, for many persons who are elated for this upcoming activity, and this would not be possible without the various stakeholders who have to work behind the scenes to make sure that it happens and that it happens well, and not forgetting the technical committee working on the activity, and the entire team at the Department of Education who are busy putting logistics in place, putting things in motion for the upcoming meet. So I want to register our appreciation to all of the stakeholders. We also know that our students and parents, I encourage you, there are several other activities that I was not able to announce this morning, which are taking place. So we have some Easter egg hunts, we have some kite flying activities happening, and I believe that these are culturally rich, especially the kite flying activities, culturally rich activities. And they say, I don't know, but it is often said that the wind doesn't work with us very well on Good Friday, so maybe you can do some of the flying beforehand to make sure you get some of the wind. We had some decent wind over the past couple of weeks, and so, but we always end up having our kites going up, but we don't want this tradition to go away, with our older persons. So we encourage you. I know for the last few years we were near lockdown and we couldn't fly our kites and it was difficult, but I encourage you to get your children engaged in these activities so that they can be able to pass our culture on for generations to come. And outside of any competition or public activity, we know that there are things that you as parents at home can do to support your children in carrying on our culture and our heritage, and these things are very important. I'm hoping that we have our sawfish ready for next Friday, and when we're doing our Johnny cakes and dumplings and sawfish and mackerel and all of our local foods, I hope that we will also be able to bring our children along, teach them how to do these dishes, get them interested. I know that sometimes their interest seems so steeped in technology, but it's important for them to know how to make these dishes. And so that is, education is holistic, and it shouldn't be it should be formal and informal, meaning at school and in other spaces, and one of those spaces has to be the home. So grandparents, parents, even if you don't know, maybe all of you could get together with your grandparents, you and your children, and everybody gets to know, because I know that our younger generation of parents might not know how to do some of these things, but get together and learn to make the various dishes. Maybe this year you can focus on one at home. Conky, for example, I don't know that many of our young people would know how to make conky or cassava bread, any of those. And then, of course, the regular dumplings and Johnny cakes, we have those around regularly. But any of these cultural dishes, it's important from a cultural point of view, from an education point of view, and for us to be able to really know who we are as a people. We often complain about our heritage being eroded and other cultures overshadowing our culture and the influences of other cultures. We observe these things and we often speak to them, and so we want to encourage you to use these opportunities. Well, all year round you should be doing these bonding activities. They're really good, but at least use this time of year to teach children how to make some of these dishes. Teach them how to make kites. I don't know if children still make book leaf kites. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know if they know how to make plastic kites using the plastic bags. I remember growing up, you would see a yellow Ram's plastic bag on all of those on kites, and using black garbage bags and stuff to make your bag kite. And then, of course, the papering of kites. I don't know how many children can paper kites. I know some of our younger persons are doing a good job, and they have small business opportunities through the skill that they have learned to make kites for students. I know that we often go for the in-store bat kites, as we used to call them, but I encourage you to get children involved in learning how to make these things as part of the activities leading up to Easter. And so, as I said, I encourage you to pass the history along, pass the traditions along, and that could be part of your Easter break tradition and celebration going forward. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Sugar City Saint Kids, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I'm Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, and we are here with you. We have been sharing lots of information, opportunities, activities over the period since 9 o'clock when we started this show, and we hope that our students will be able to embrace those activities and opportunities. Of course, we are in our last quarter of the show, and I wanted to kind of zone in on some of the activities and some of the other opportunities that parents can use this 2-week period to attempt to undertake, and of course our students too, aligned with the various competitions which we have available. I wanted to take a few moments and say you can even take some time out to become a tourist on Nevis. That is always a good experience. Do an island tour. You can do a formal island tour. We have various tour guides. I've known of families who have gotten on a taxi and made it an experience for their children, or they've gotten together with a tour guide, a local tour guide, and made an experience for their children. I've seen parents, visiting the fire station and visiting some of the historical sites and making it a real experience. And so that is something that you can consider doing, and it will definitely help with the Ministry of Tourism's video and photo contest as well. I wanted to share just a few, just maybe about 1 or 2 of our historical sites and a bit of information that may be of some help and may be an impetus or something to prompt our students to go ahead and look and attempt the video competition and the photo competition coming up. And so we're going to take a few stops. We're going to do a virtual tour. I think we'll get to about 2 in of some sites on Nevis that you can consider. One site is the Eden Brown Estate, and I'll stop and share with you. And I'm sharing from the Places of Memory. Those sites that I'm speaking to this morning are coming from the Places of Memory, experiences and contributions of enslaved Africans in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it is written by Leonard Stapleton. And so this book is available to all, but one place of memory and one place that you can probably stop at on your tour is the Eden Brown Estate. I actually love the story behind the Eden Brown Estate, and this particular sugar estate was the site of a most famous duel. The circumstances surrounding this duel have evolved into a legend. The estate was owned by the Maynard family during the time of the famous duel. There still remains of some of the buildings which date back to the fateful period in the days of sugar and slavery. The Eden Brown Estate is a place of memory associated with the productivity and the contribution of the enslaved Africans. Enslaved Africans were used to construct the sugar works and also the living quarters of the estate owners. The great wealth generated from the Eden Brown Estate was gotten through the labor and productivity of enslaved Africans who cultivated, harvested, and processed the lucrative sugar cane. Also significant is the fact that the enslaved Africans built an estate which later became famous for a family that will become linked to a most fascinating Shakespearean-style love story and tragedy. And I never thought of Shakespearean style, but that is exactly what it is. It's right akin there with almost like Romeo and Juliet, but a little bit more tragic. So the story behind Eden Brown, the archival documents at the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society reveal that there were several Brown families in 1677 in Nevis. However, evidence points to James Brown Sr. and James Brown Jr. as owners of the estate in St. James Parish, now known to all as Eden Brown Estate. During the Brown ownership, the estate was called the Brown Estate. If the Brown in Eden Brown came from the Brown family, which were the early owners of the estate, then where did the Eden come from? Further details from the NHCS tell us that the property eventually fell into the hands of James Brown Jr.'s sister, a widow named Elizabeth White. Around the time of the legendary duel, Eden Brown Estate was owned by Edward Huggins. Edward Huggins was one of the richest planters in Nevis. It was Edward Huggins who called the estate Eden Estate. In later years, the two names were combined, and the estate has been since called Eden Brown Estate, and that is from the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society. And of course, it would be remiss of us not to share the tragic love story of Eden Brown, the Eden Brown Estate. The Eden Brown Estate has become world-renowned because of the duel that took place between son of Edward Huggins of Eden Brown Estate and the son of William Maynard, owner of the neighboring New River Estate. As the story goes, the Williams' son, Walter Maynard, was to be married to Edward's daughter, Julia Huggins. Edward's son and Julia's brother, John Huggins, was to be the best man. It was a happy time. Of course, weddings are generally a happy time. It was a happy time for the bride-to-be. What more can a young woman ask but to be wed to her true love and have the best man be her dear loving brother? This would have been a happy tale if the story ended here. However, the story continues at the dinner reception at the New River Estate home of the groom-to-be Walter. This too would have had a happy ending if the dinner conversation did not steer toward a particular slave. It appears that this enslaved African was the Huggins blacksmith that was hired to the Maynards, and at this point, the atmosphere turned into sadness. So there was a duel following that activity. It was an argument and a duel, and the quarrel happened between the groom and the best man, and of course they started insulting each other, and the tragic tale of Eden Brown Estate ends with both men being mortally wounded, and Julia, the bride, living out the rest of her life mourning the death of her husband-to-be and her brother. The legend continues that till today, villagers and passers-by say that they can hear every full moon. If you look and listen carefully, you will see the bride dressed in all white in the window of the ruins, and you can hear her wailing and sobbing for her lost loves. The tomb of the young John Maynard is still located at the bottom of the steps of the ruins of Eden Brown, the home of the Maynards. If you want to see the grave of Julia Huggins, it is located in St. Thomas's Anglican Church graveyard. She is said to have lived out the rest of her life at Montravers Estate. So it is said that she's still there. It is not meant to be a scary story, but I think a very interesting one. It's all about how you present it, and they say that you can see her. I have not tested this. So I have not gone at full moon and looked into the window or the ruins of the window, and I've definitely not. I don't know if I would want to go. I would have to go with a lot of lights, and then that would probably detract from from the significance of the moment. But as I said, very interesting tales, and you may not have to give your children every single detail like I just did, but pick out the high points as you go along, and have them discuss and ask you questions about, and maybe some of them might ask you to take them back on a full moon night to see if they see, because some of them are inquisitive like that. Similarly, we have the Fig Tree Anglican Church ruins, which we find, and we have a lot of information to share on those particular ruins, but I think I will skip over, because that one is a little bit longer. I will skip over to the St. James Anglican Church ruin, and the St. James Anglican Church located in Potworks, St. James. This is actually an active church, but it is a place of memory and a very significant place. And the church dates back to the days of slavery on Nevis. It is unique in that it is the only church in the Federation with a statue of a black Jesus Christ on the cross. In fact, there are only two others in the Caribbean. One is in Haiti and one is in Trinidad. According to the Nevis archive document, the church building dates back to 1750. However, there are graves as early as 1679 in the graveyard, and there is this is, of course, dating back to the slavery era. The building itself is a testament to the skill and productivity of the enslaved Africans, very strong. And the church, however, is most known for the black crucifix, which is mounted prominently. Visitors from far and wide came to see the church built by enslaved Africans with a crucified Jesus that looks blacker than the blackest African. And so, of course, that is very important information for us to have. It's a good way for you to stop by and show your children, look, this is one of the three churches in the Caribbean. It's a big deal historically. One of the three churches in the Caribbean which has a black crucifix, and have those conversations as well. Some of the other places that you can take them, I won't be able to share information this morning, but you can make sure that you stop at the birthplace of Alexander Hamilton, the Museum of Nevis History. There's so much to learn there. Maybe that's a place to start and move out. We also have the Fig Tree Anglican Church. We have very significant, lots of history there. And as you drive around Nelson Spring and Cottle Church and Russell's Rest and Russ, and there's some history up there. We've shared in the past. You have New River Estate. You have one of my personal favorites. I think everybody should stop by the Nevision Heritage Village, where we can look at the evolution of houses on Nevis. And so there's so much for us to engage our children in, and we encourage you to do just that. We can make it fun and exciting and engaging. So parents, just some quick reminders. We will share the dates out for the registration enrollment for our schools in the upcoming weeks. Those persons who are interested in purchasing tickets for the Gulf Insurance Interprimary Championship, early bird ticket sale ends on 22nd of April. You can get tickets at the Department of Education at Marion Heights, and children's tickets, early bird $5, $15 for adults, and then the prices will go up after the 22nd of April. We continue to wish all of our students the best as they prepare for the championship, as well as their support team. And so we thank you for all that you have done so far, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go, whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go, whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things.